What's going on, guys? We're back at it with our reaction to UFC Edmonton. A bit of a mid card, bunch of decisions, 9 decisions to 4 finishes, but Canada did shine in Edmonton. They definitely represented. The Canadians went 6-2, and we're gonna give you our thoughts fight by fight, starting with the first fight of the night. Jamey-Lyn Horth taking on Ivana Petrović. Me and E both picked Jamey-Lyn Horth in this matchup. She was the favorite coming in, almost minus 200. She looked okay. Honestly, I thought Petrović did enough to get that W, but hey, they were in Edmonton, so you know how things roll sometimes. A little bit of shady business going on from them judges, man.
Them hometown judges need to be stopped, man, because they did it. I'm not
Yeah.
mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. I picked Jamie-Lynn Horth to get this one done. Ivana Petrović did her thing, man. She put on a great performance. I thought she might have done enough to win the fight. I'm glad the judges saw it the way I predicted it. Otherwise, Ivana should have really won this fight. I thought she was doing a lot of control time. In that second round, I guess the judges swayed that one to Jamie-Lynn Horth because she put her in that armbar for most of the fight. She was doing a good job in, submission attempts. But overall, Jamie-Lynn Horth got it done. I'm not mad at it. Predicted this one right. But Ivana did her thing, man. Split decision. I can see why it was a split decision.
I do feel bad for Petrović. I do feel like she got that decision, but hey, man, at least we we started off the night 1-0. On to the next fight in the men's bantamweight division. We have Chad and Anheliger taking on Cody Gibson. The Canadian lost to the American. Cody Gibson looked very good. One judge gave him a 10-8 round in there, 30-26. Give me your thoughts on it.
Yeah, Cody Gibson Magomedov dominated him, man. Dominated him in that second round, 10-8
Brother,
performance.
he from Canada. Who wrestled in Canada, brother?
Call me Mystic E, man. Call me Mystic E. I predicted this fight to a T. I knew Cody Gibson was gonna come use his wrestling, dominate, and boy, he's a lot. He was a bigger dude. Chad just didn't know what to do with him, man. I felt bad for him at home, just getting embarrassed like that. After that first round, he looked at him as he was walking away. He's like, "Yo, did he just dominate me like that?" I was not expecting. It looked like he was unprepared at all. Shout out to Cody Gibson, a beautiful performance, unanimous decision. Let's get it. 2-0.
Yeah, yeah, man. Cody Gibson looked like a stud, man. His wrestling looked absolutely on point, man. Excited to see what's next, man. Don't let that 22-10 record fool you, man. This guy's legit. On to the next fight. Again, in the men's bantamweight division, we have Canada's Serhiy Sidey taking on America's Garrett Armfield. The Canadian comes through in Edmonton representing. Sidey was a slight favorite, so this fight could have went either way. He looked good, man. His striking looked solid. Give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, this was a great performance. Serhiy Sidey came out that first
I do
round.
want to say
Looked,
Garrett Armfield did come to fight though.
yeah, I was just gonna say, man, Serhiy Sidey he put on a great performance that first round, but after that, man, Garrett Armfield was doing his thing. This fight could have went either way.
Sidney.
City actually admitted in the post-fight presser that he thought he might have even lost that fight. I'm not mad at it. I predicted Serhiy Sidey to get the dub. He got the split decision victory, but Garrett Armfield, man, got to put some respect on that boy's name. He put on a great performance.
Yeah,
I'm not
man.
mad at the split. He probably I thought he did enough to win the fight, honestly.
I don't know. I felt like it was 50-50 in those kinds of situations, man. I'm not mad at whoever wins, man. It was a good fight. Garrett Armfield came to fight. Sidney showed he's legit as well. He showed why he was the slight favorite over someone as tough as Armfield. It was a good fight, man. On to the next one. We have the meatballs, the big boys, Alexandr Romanov taking on Nascimento. In this matchup, I went with Romanov. E went with Nascimento. So this is the first fight where we had different picks. I move on to 4-0 on the night, and E is 3-1 so far. Give me your thoughts on this matchup, man. Romanov was looking like a beast, man. That cardio issue didn't really seem to be in effect tonight.
Regrettably, I went with Nascimento to win this fight, man. I didn't realize he was going to be that bad. He looked good to me in that Derek Lewis fight, which is why I kind of went with him. I thought Romanov was a big, slobby, low cardio guy. I
Romanov
thought,
has severe cardio issues. In this fight, he was able to go the distance and
hey,
not look bad.
he was doing his thing in there, man. He was doing his thing in
He
there.
started putting his hands down like Roy Jones in the second
Yeah,
and third
Nascimento
rounds.
disappointed me, man. Nascimento disappointed me. I was looking forward to seeing him get this done, but Romanov was doing his thing, man. I ain't mad at it. He was beating him on the feet. He was beating him in the ground. Completely outclassed him, man.
Yeah,
I felt embarrassed taking him, honestly. Bad
yeah.
prediction.
Yeah, man. His body lock takedowns look good, man. He was putting a lot of weight on Nascimento. He was getting him tired. And Romanov, he got a little tired. He got a little winded. Perhaps that nut shot in the second round helped him catch his second breath because after that, man, Romanov started striking. He had his hands down. He thought he was Roy Jones. Y'all must have forgot, man. He was weaving, head movement, throwing that straight left, and that straight left. Nascimento's head had a magnet, and that straight left was connecting automatically, man. Romanov, I'm not gonna say he looked good. He still looked a little sloppy, but he definitely looked better than in his past fights. Excited to see what he could do because in the heavyweight division, anything could happen, and nobody's really grappling like that. But moving on to the featherweight division, we have the former bantamweight from Wales taking on Youssef Zalal. Jack Shore moving up from 135. He hasn't really looked too good at 145. Zalal looked super sharp, super crisp. You know what we like to say on this channel when somebody's striking looks super sharp and crisp. He looking like Izzy Adesanya. You know what I'm saying? Zalal looked damn good. He keeps the submission streak going, and you called this, and I called this as well. I picked Zalal by decision. You picked Zalal by submission, so you called the exact method as well. I'm 5-0 up until this point. You're 4-1. Y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all guys watching our videos need to take notice, man. We're putting in work. We're on point. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, not much to say, man. I knew this was gonna happen. Yusuf Zalal is a submission maestro, man. He came out there, got the job done. Jack Shore, man, hype prospect. But I guess his confidence is gone now, man. Now that's was that 3 losses in a row for the dude. Feel bad for him. He was a good prospect, but he's still young, man. He's still young. He could turn it around. But Yusuf Zalal's up next, man. I like his return arc to the UFC. I'm very excited to see what's next for him. Let's get it, Yusuf Zalal. I'm hype, man. I've been watching this dude before he fought Topuria. Then he went on that 3-fight losing skid, got cut from the UFC, but now he's back. Let's get it. More improved, still young. I'm excited, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited for Zalal. His story is very, you know what I mean, inspiring. He came into the UFC pre-25s. He was taking on killers, fought Ilia Topuria in Ilia Topuria's debut, and he didn't get finished, man. He got beat up, but he didn't get finished. He showed a lot of heart in that. He got cut from the UFC, made his way back after some elite performances on the regional scene. Go ahead.
Expect a can for Jack Short next. Expect a can. That's 2 L's in a row. You
Straight
go get
up.
a can, man. They like this dude, man. They like this
Straight
dude.
up, they definitely trying to build Jack Shore. They always try to give him these cool fights, but hey, man, he's not performing right now. But Zalal, man, on the other hand, he's looking like a future contender in the 145 division. He definitely looked like a rank fighter. The timing on that knee was impeccable, and then he jumped the submission like he was Charles Oliveira. That's 3 straight submissions in the UFC. I'm very excited for Zalal. On to the next fight. We have in another Canadian in Charles Jourdain. Air Jourdain is one of my favorite fighters in the featherweight division. He moved down to 135, taking on Victor Henry. He was the slight favorite. E went with Victor Henry. I went with Jourdain. I'm still undefeated through the night. Give me your thoughts, man. Jourdain looked very sharp in 135. His chin looked solid, man, after that weight cut.
I swear I didn't realize how good he was gonna look in that moving down the bantamweight. I thought it was gonna be too much for him, which is why I went against him. And I can't believe I went with the 38-year-old instead of the 28-year-old in this one, man. That was on me. Charles Jourdain looks like my twin brother. You know what I'm saying? He came out, got the finish. At this point of the card was turning. It was looking to be an exciting card. 2 finishes in a row. We're like, all right, this is gonna be a good card. But shout out to Charles Jourdain. Charles Jourdain or Charles Oliveira, whatever you want to call him, man. That guillotine finish was beautiful,
It
man. He
was
got it done.
phenomenal, man. He was dominating him on the feet. He was landing a lot of body kicks. That body kick looked money.
He looked
Charles
fast.
Yeah,
He
he
looked
looked
fast in this
very
division.
fast. That's surprising because he's a bigger guy moving down, but he somehow lost weight and got even faster. Charles Jourdain, very excited to see what he does at 135. Super exciting fighter. I hope he can put a run together, man. And next fight, now we have your real twin, Ayman Zahabi, taking on Pedro Munhoz, man. I'm sad to see Pedro Munhoz going out like this. He's a certified OG. That knockout over Cody Garbrandt. I'll never forget it, man. They was just swinging in the pocket. But man, how times have changed. Zahabi completely styled on Pedro Munhoz, man. Sad to see.
Yeah, who'd have thought Amos Zahabi was gonna make a crazy run like this, beating Javed Basharat, one of my favorite fighters, and then moving on to be the legend in the UFC, Pedro Munhoz. I know he's lost a step. I know he's an older dude, but that dude is a legend. He's a fighting veteran. That win cannot go unsaid. Shout out to Amos Zahabi, man. His brother, Faraz Zahabi, one of my favorite coaches, one of my favorite minds in the game of MMA. So I'm happy for him. The high IQ fighters, high IQ fighter. He comes in, he knows his game plan, he follows it, sticks to it to a T, and produces, man, produces W after W. What is he? I think he's on like five fight win streak. Now let's get it, man. Just Ayman Zahabi. I'm excited to see what's next for him, man.
Yeah, man, 5 fights in a row in the UFC is no joke, man. He definitely deserves a ranked opponent. Definitely after beating Pedro Munhoz, who used to be a top five bantamweight. What's up?
Have to say, this dude is 36 years old. So whatever he has to do, he has to do it ASAP. You can't waste no time. He has to stay healthy as much as possible because he's young, man. Once he gets once he gets to that 37, 38, it's almost time to call it quits, man.
Yeah, man. The good thing is with the 5 fight win streak in the UFC, you might be able to parlay a ranked opponent. And once you get in the rankings, man, the ball starts rolling fast. Moving on to the next fight, we have another Canadian in Mike Malott taking on Trevin Giles. You know, the UFC and Uncle Dana and Co. was praying Mike Malott won this fight. They needed somebody in Canada to take up that mantle. Mike Malott delivered. Was it an impressive fashion? He was a minus 400 favorite, and he did beat Trevin Giles by decision. I'm impressed that he showed that he can beat a UFC caliber fighter by decision. Usually he just be winning by finish. So that's an improvement. But what do you give me your thoughts? We both picked Mike Malott, by the way. So, I'm still undefeated on the night, man. I'm on these picks. Y'all need to take note.
Yeah, Mike Malott is that hometown dude, that Chad. You know what I'm saying? Like Dana White privilege himself. I thought he put on a good performance output wise. He put on great striking performance, but he was playing it safe, man. He admitted to playing it safe. I don't know how I felt about that. I don't like it when fighters do that. They try to play a safe game to try to win an easy victory. It's good for their careers, but it's not fun to watch, man. It's not fun to watch. I know Mike Malott is a fan favorite. These dudes love no matter what kind of product he puts out there, but I wasn't too impressed, man. It was a good decision win, nothing crazy, but I felt like it kind of killed the momentum of the card at this point.
Yeah. And moving on to the middleweight division. Marc-André Barriault taking on Dustin Stoltzfus, man. Unfortunately, I went with Barriault. I thought he was going to be able to get that knockout over Stoltzfus. You picked Stoltzfus. You had a sneaky suspicion that he's going to be able to submit him. Stoltzfus showed immediately that he had the edge in the grappling and then knocked him out with a hook on once Barriault scrambled up to his feet, man. It was absolutely beautiful. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, yeah, I knew Dustin Stoltzfus had the wrestling and grappling advantage of this one, and he did use it. He did use it, got those openings, and then caught the finish, put the dude's lights out. Honestly, this fight could have been the fight of the night on paper, but Dustin Stoltzfus came out, did his thing. I know you were very upset getting your first L prediction wise, but Dustin Stoltzfus, man, he came through for me as I knew he would. The underdog got it done, man. That was a beautiful KO. And it kind of turned the card back around with the knockout. This was a good fight. I was like very excited about this one.
Yeah, man. Moving on to the women's flyweight division, we have Ariane de Silva, Brazil's finest. You know what I'm saying? Taking on Jasmine Jasudavicius from Canada. Jasmine looked very sharp. Ariane looked very good in the first round, but once she got taken down, man, she got scared, man. She started fighting scared. She stopped opening up on the strikes. She was very hesitant to even start the first round, but once she didn't see any takedown attempts, she started winning the first round. But as soon as Jasmine got that takedown, everything changed for De Silva, man. She was very timid. And she looked very bad after the first round. Jasmine just dominated her and got the submission in the third round. Shout out to Jasmine. She's as advertised. She's looking like a stud.
Yeah, Vicious is the perfect name for her, man. He came out bigger girl. She had the crazy size advantage. Took her down, controlled her most of the fight. Ariane couldn't get nothing going, man. Her output was non-existent. Jasmine was a bigger girl, completely dominated her. I see why they call her Vicious. I'm just joking. I don't think they call her Vicious, but Jasuda Vicious, perfect name for her, man. I love it.
Yeah, man, she's definitely vicious. But in the next matchup, we moving on to the light heavyweight division. Kyle Machado, man, don't let that mustache fool you, man. This dude, this dude could scrap, man. He was taking a lot of heavy shots. He was fighting Brenson Ribeiro, man. You could tell, man. He was throwing every time he threw. It was very powerful. Ribeiro, when he got that split decision victory, he kind of got on his knees and started praying. So I don't know. Who'd you really think won this matchup? We both went with Machado in this.
Yeah,
Fortunately, we
this
both got
was
it wrong.
this was a very, very close fight. Kai Machado was doing his thing, man. He was doing his thing, but he just couldn't get nothing significant off. Couldn't land,
No
couldn't hit those.
hands.
Yeah, he couldn't hit nothing, man. He was just swinging like he was throwing a cricket ball.
Yeah.
Just, what I'm saying? Just couldn't hit nothing, though. Couldn't hit nothing. It was a good performance, but Ribeiro just looked way more technical, man. Way more technical, way more comfortable in the stand up, and was landing the better shots. And ultimately, he won the fight because of that split decision. Honestly, he should have won a unanimous decision. But hey, the judges saw Kyle Machado do his thing. I guess that pressure, the octagon control was they kind of gave him that. I guess. Otherwise, I don't know how he got a split decision. But Ribeiro, shout out to him and good technical performance.
Yeah, man. Damage trumps all that pretty pitter pat lead leg kicks and jabs doesn't trump the straight left hand that Ribeiro was putting on Machado's face over and over again each round, round after round. I thought the fight could have went either way, but damage does trump all, so I'm not mad at it at all. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening. We have Pat Barry's twin and his girlfriend, Rose Namajunas, taking on Erin Blanchfield. Rose had this fight in the bag, man. She was winning the first two rounds. She was even winning that third round, and then she decided to go for a takedown, and then Blanchfield got going. That's where her game started. She got the fight to the mat, and then everything changed, man. Blanchfield, she showed that for a young fighter, she was down 2-0 and then won the next three rounds, man. She showed a lot of mental fortitude, and that's what a lot of champions need, man. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, she was very resilient. She lost those first two rounds, came out in the third, and was doing her thing in the grappling. I knew she had the grappling advantage, which is why I predicted her to win 3 rounds to 2. Called it to a T. Got this one easy, but I knew Eric Blanchfield was the younger fighter. Rose, ah, sad to see Rose, man, because Rose one of the best female fighters on the planet. I'm a big fan, but that whole Pat Barry shit is kind of weird. That being said, Erin Blanchfield, the Philadelphian chick. I'm happy she got it done. I'm excited to see what's next for her. 3 rounds to 2, man. Call this to a T. I love it.
Yeah, man. And shout out to Blanchfield, man. Such a big performance over former champion and such a great women's fighter in Rose Namajunas. And she said she didn't even call for a title fight. She said, you know what? I want to fight Grasso. She said, you know what? I want one-on-one with the former champ to get that title shot. How about that? And that is honestly, that's badass, man. Shout out to Blanchfield. You're a badass. I'm excited to see what you do in the future. And moving on to the main event of the evening, we had Brandon Moreno, the baby-faced assassin, taking on Amir Prince Albazi. We both went with Albazi in this. We thought I don't know why we went with Albazi. I regretted my pick right after that video. He's coming off
Listen,
heart
listen.
surgery, all that. And we both said he's going to win. He's going to outpace him and outgrapple him. We were idiots for that, but it is what it is. Give me your thoughts on this matchup. It was a good fight.
For the record, I went with the old Elbazi. I don't know who the fuck was in there at this time.
Yeah,
Because
straight up.
he didn't look the same fight. He didn't look like the same fighter at all. I figured it was the surgeries that I think he had a heart surgery he was coming back from, and a lot of the injuries that kept him away for so long. I felt like that's probably the deciding factor. That's what kind of he's not the same fighter no more.
You only shot four takedowns and you're getting
Yes,
pieced up every round. Makes no
bro.
sense.
Yeah, bro. When you come in like that, undefeated, you know what I'm saying? You have to throw the sink at him, bro. You gotta throw everything at him, bro. But Brandon Moreno showed why he was a such a technical fighter, such a technical boxer, man. Couldn't do nothing with him, even when he took him down.
That lead hook from Brandon Moreno was that
Brandon
money shot.
Moreno, yeah, Brandon Moreno got up like a springboard, just bounced right back up. Didn't do absolutely
Elite
nothing. I'm
takedown
surprised they
defense.
even counted that takedown. Yeah. So Brandon Moreno showed why he was a champion, man. I thought his best days were behind him, but he still got some fight left in him, man. Albazi, I don't know who that was in there. That wasn't the same Albazi that I'm used to, because I know he be out there dominating fighters, man, dominating fighters. He always and he looked more stronger too. He looked like he was more cut up, more ripped. Just couldn't do nothing, man. Shout out to Brandon Moreno getting his win back in the win column. I'm excited to see what's next for him. Amir, I don't know if he'll ever be the same again, man. I'm worried.
Yeah, man, that was a vicious beatdown. He got beat down for 5 rounds. Brandon Moreno was hitting him with every tool in his bag. Albazi did show that he's very durable. He was eating everything, man. He got hurt only, but he got rocked a couple times, but he didn't get dropped. He was able to weather the storm. He's young. Hopefully he could come back.
It's funny you mentioned that he's young. He's older. He's older than Moreno, but he
But
just
30,
didn't.
he's only 31, right?
Yeah, 31. Yeah, he
31's
just
not old.
I mean, he's not old like Moreno, because Moreno has been through them wars, but Moreno put on a masterclass, bro. He barely
Moreno
got touched.
just put that dude through a car crash.
He barely got touched in that whole fight. He put on a great performance. I know he's gonna look to turn it back around quick, because that bag. You got to get that bag before it's too late. But Amir Albazi, man, I hope he's able to turn it around. I am a fan. He's a funny ass dude.
Brandon
But
Moreno versus the loser of Kaya Sakuda versus Alexander Pointeja is what makes sense. And yo, shout out to Brandon Moreno, man. He was losing a lot of fights. It looked like he was gonna go through the usual vet that slide that they have. They lose like 4 or 5 fights straight, and then they gotta retire or go to like Bellator or something. Brandon Moreno said, "I'm still here, and I'm not fucking leaving."
He
Like the
said, "Not
Wolf on Wall Street.
today, not today."
Yeah, he said he not leaving, man. I'm still here to stay. 125 is my division, and just because Pantoja got my number doesn't mean anything, man. Pantoja could lose at any time, and Brandon Moreno could easily beat anybody else in this division.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Pantoja because I want to talk about Royval. I felt like Royval is tough, man. I guess people thought Moreno was
Royval is
done.
next. Royval is next for the title
Yeah,
shot. I think
Royval
Moreno got to
is.
fight the loser of the
Mhm.
of the next title fight.
Before Moreno got his first title fight against was it Pantoja? No, it was Figgy. Before he got his first title fight against Figgy, he beat Royval. But in that fight, Royval had a freak injury. I think he dislocated his shoulder or something. And that's the only reason Moreno got that fight. Otherwise, who knows how that fight could have turned out? Brandon Royval is top of the top. And we shouldn't say just because he beat Moreno that he's lost a step, that Moreno has lost a step because Royval is that dude, man. So shout out to
Royval's super
Royval.
dangerous in the flyweight
And
division, man.
Moreno still
One of
got
the
it.
Yeah, Royval's one of the few flyweights that gets finishes in that division, anyways, man. Royval's a killer, no shame in losing to him. And Moreno has a victory over him. You think it's a fluke, but hey, man, a victory is a victory. They're 1-1. Moreno still is he's a live dog in this 125 division. He could still be the champ at some point in the near future. Shout out to Brandon Moreno and a little bit of a late career renaissance. But hey, man, that
I was gonna say if y'all liking these predictions, man, y'all liking these reviews, I want y'all to tap in with us, man. Like, follow, subscribe,
do all that.
engage. You know what I'm saying? We here, we reply to
Show
every
some love,
comment.
man. We trying to build a community, man. We want y'all to comment, engage. We'll engage back, man. We trying to have some cool conversations about the sport that we all love, baby. That's Full Guard MMA,
And
and
we
we
out.
out of here. Peace.